Gadsden State, we're excited to have you here tonight. If you are in the back and if you haven't had a chance to get something to eat, please go ahead and do so. We're going to get started here momentarily, but I want to give you plenty of time to do that. We're going to have a great night tonight. Before we start, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Alan Smith. I'm Dean of Workforce Development here at Gadsden State. Our president, Dr. Kathy Murphy, is traveling and is unable to attend tonight, but I would like to recognize our executive vice president, Dr. Tara Simmons. I would also like to recognize our executive cabinet that is here tonight, that works across the college to do many great things and buys into a lot of the things that we do. At Gadsden State, you need to know one thing: we support each other instructionally across the lines, and I'm very excited to introduce our executive cabinet tonight. If you guys would please stand. Thank you. I'd like to recognize all Gadsden State workforce development staff and all Gadsden State career and technical education instructors and employees. If y'all could stand, I'd appreciate that. We have another cabinet member here, but he was already standing, so thanks. I see you there. I want to not take up a lot of time just congratulating everybody tonight, because tonight is a night that we're going to celebrate the start of something really good for the students and the employers. And we're going to clap for you guys a little bit later. But I want the parents of the students, the mentors of the students, anybody that came with a student tonight, whatever your connection is, I'd like for you to stand. And I want to give you a round of applause for being here tonight. Thank you. I want to talk a little bit about CoMeT, and as I talk about it, I want to give you a little bit of a background of why we have this program. Many of you know the manufacturing or the processes that are involved in manufacturing are going to include things like casting and pouring and fabrication and stamping and different processes, but one that gets a lot of attention and one that we need to do a great job of helping is the machining process. And at Gadsden State, for the past several years, we have been looking at how we could improve the students' experience in machining and how we could best serve our industries in the machining area. I came to Gadsden State in late 2019. Among the first phone calls I got were from industry partners that wanted to see what I was going to do to address the needs that they were dealing with in their industry on a daily basis. And the calls that I got ranged from what I was going to do to help address things as simple as being to work on time, knowing basic skills of how to be a machine operator, all the way up to how we were going to train tool and die makers to be very advanced in the industry. I knew at that time that there was going to be a big, broad amount of work to be done. There was something that happened right after late 2019, happened in March of 2020, that impacted how we trained at Gadsden State for a while. And I think you guys know I'm talking about a pandemic that happened. So we put a lot of plans on pause, but we were excited that we would launch CoMeT, and we began the process of doing that about March of last year. Let me give you just a quick view about CoMeT and what we hope to accomplish with it, but let me tell you what it stands for if you don't know. It's Consortium of Machining Educational Training. And with that, you can see our logo up there. We put a lot of thought and effort into just the logo itself, the name itself, and the process itself. We have our workforce people here tonight that spent hundreds of man hours designing or figuring out how we were going to run this program. But you can see from the logo, we capitalized the C, we got a lowercase o, and then capitalized the M because we want it to be like company and me equals a team. It's kind of got a double meaning there because we wanted to team up with companies, with Gadsden State, and be the training provider for the students that wanted to go into the program. All of the work-based learning research that you read and all of the data that's out there will tell you there are many students that want to get an education and want to get a job, but sometimes can't do both at the same time. We know from our experience at Gadsden State that students oftentimes are more interested in hands-on learning than they are theory learning, and so this work-based learning concept that we have is something that we're really excited to do. And CoMeT, what you're going to be a part of tonight is we've reached out to these industry partners with just a small answer to the many needs that they have with their workforce development. But with this program, we feel like we're going to be able to provide a pipeline of skilled, trained workers that can come in, get valuable credentials, get an associate's degree at Gadsden State Community College, make them good employees, and we have some of the most innovative, best employers on board with us. I would not hesitate at all about knowing that I was going through the program. I would gladly go to work for any of these employers myself, or my two sons. One's 21, the other one's 16. I would be very glad to know that they were going to work for any of these employers because they have the vision of developing students. They've agreed to be a part of providing mentors for the students while they're in the program. And at Gadsden State, we'll have a success coach that will monitor them as well. So the program itself is really good. It's a overwhelming response that we've gotten from industry, and we're excited about tonight and everything we're going to be talking about moving forward. So with that, I want to yield the microphone, and we're going to move on into the next portion of our program.
Thank you, Dean Smith. Hey, it's good. Thank you guys again for being here. My name is Andy Robertson. I'm the coordinator of workforce development at Gadsden State, and we're so excited to have you come be a part of this inaugural class for CoMeT. And you guys that are going to be in CoMeT, we look forward to having you guys be in it, and everything that goes with it, and all the employers in the industry. Thank you guys so much. So now we're actually going to start. So we'll start with actually CoMeT signing, where our industry partners will come up, and we'll call and recognize you guys up one at a time. And we're going to go in alphabetical order company-wise, so that's where we'll go. And please feel free, when we're all said and done, we'll be able to go through some questions, and also we'll be able to move this backdrop over and give you guys, with family that's here, plenty of time to take pictures with your family or with the industry partners, so just please take advantage of all that. But we're going to go ahead and start, and our very first one we're going to start with is actually an alternate that's going to be in, Mr. Darionte Collins. So Darionte, if you could come bring your way up, please. Okay. And we're not making him sign his life away, believe it or not. He just signed a nice little commitment. So don't worry about him, Mom and Dad back here. We're not asking that of him. And our first industry partner will be Gadsden Tool. So you guys would come up. Yeah. And their first student you're taking is Mr. Jonathan Laughlin. Gadsden Tools' second student employee will be Mr. Tyree Street.
Jackson's here.
Our next industry partner will be General Dynamics. And their first selection of the student employee will be Mr. Champton Goss. The second student is Mr. Dalton Johnson. Their third student is Mr. Jakarian Jackson. Our next industry partner will be GH Metal Solutions. And their selection will be Mrs. Kendra Perigo. Our next industry partner will be Lee Brass. Their first student is Mr. Derek Montgomery. Lee Brass also selected another student, Mr. Jakari Whitfield, but I believe he was unable to be here tonight, so we'll make sure I didn't miss you, Jakari. But I wanted to recognize Jakari as being selected, and he will go to work with Lee Brass and start to school at Gadsden State in the fall in our CoMeT program. So I just want to recognize Jakari as well. Our next industry partner will be Prince Metal Stamping. Their first student selection will be Mr. Eric Danini. Prince also selected another student, Mr. Titan Rich, who's also unfortunately unable to be with us tonight. But again, I wanted to recognize Titan for being in the program and being selected. He will go to work with Prince Metal Stamping and again start to school with us in the fall. Our next industry partner is Stamp Products. You guys make your way on up, please. And their first student selection is Mr. Dylan Owens. Step Products' second selection was Mr. Lucas Renfro. Our final industry partner this evening will be XYZ Control. Their student selection is Mr. Matthew Williams.
Before I give the mic back to Andy, I just want to tell everyone here how much I appreciate you, and I want to recognize a few people that were responsible for this event tonight in many ways. First and foremost, if you like the way the food tastes, if you like the way the food looks, if you like everything about this professional presentation, I'm going to put her on the spot and ask Miss Cindy Haynes if she would stand, please. Let's give her a round of applause. She'll probably kick me for that, but anyway. And I would also like to recognize some partners in our workforce, another workforce agency that we work very closely with that is just, without them, there's a lot of things that Gadsden State would not be able to do. East Alabama Works, Executive Director Lisa Morales and Carl Brady, if you guys and anybody else with East Alabama Works is here tonight, if you would stand, I'd appreciate you. I'd like to recognize our Executive Director of Public Relations and our grant writer, Miss Wheatley, and any other Gadsden State employee that I may be missing tonight. Please stand. I'd like to thank you for being here tonight. Now, students, I have something I want to say to you, because you're beginning your training at Gadsden State, in your education at Gadsden State. We have two instructors that are relatively new in their educational journey, but they're extremely competent. They have invested thousands of hours in machining industry. They have been acquiring skills as instructors, and you're going to be the first cohort of what I hope to be a very successful thing to come. I'm putting pressure in a good way on the instructors to be very excellent instructors to you, but they can only do it if you do your part, and if you come to class, if you study, if you are willing to overcome problems and challenges that may come up, because there will be times where you'll be trying to balance an education and a work life as you go through this, and our instructors will definitely be aware of that. Our employers will be aware of that. We ask them to make sure that they're not working you late at night when you got a test the next day and those things. We've worked through a lot of these ahead of time, but it can only happen if you apply yourself. And I want the first cohort of CoMeT that we signed to have a 100% completion rate. I want that for you. I want to tell you when the time gets tough, and it'll happen, and you'll probably second guess yourself, and you may get into situations. You remember this moment. You remember this night. You remember everybody that came out tonight, and I don't know how many times we clapped our hands, but it wasn't enough, because we applaud you for what you're doing, and you find whatever it takes to finish this program. Go on in to this industry or further your education on down the road, and I guarantee you the experience that you'll get, the connections that you will make in this program will give you, you'll be head and shoulders over anybody else out there, and it'll put you on a great trajectory towards a wonderful career in the precision machining and the machine tool industry. So with that, I'm going to step aside and ask you, before I do, to give one more round of applause to a person who has put hundreds of hours into dedication of this, our coordinator and the person who really makes this program go, along with the help with others of our staff, Mr. Andy Robertson. Let's give him a hand as I give him the mic.
Thank you. I tell you that, I feel like I just need to sit down and be done, right? That's great. But I just want to take some time, so I know parents, family, everybody that's here, CoMeT may be kind of new to you and maybe saying, hey, what's going on? And we've kind of had the PowerPoint going behind us, I say. So let's see if we can kind of do this here and talk about it. I want to kind of go over a few things just to, so that you guys can be able to ask questions and see and know what's going on. So we talked about the student pledge that we just signed. I told you made a joke, they wasn't signing their life away, and they're not. But that's what I want you to understand. These students just signed a commitment that they're going to complete 5 project presentations. They're going to complete 1,776 hours of work-based learning. So they're dedicating themselves, and also our industry partners are dedicating their time and their experience to make sure they train these young men and women and get them incorporated in the field. So that's some things I wanted you guys to be able to see. Another thing we're going to talk about, we talked about what's in it for the students. So they're going to be able to get their education in 2 days a week. So this cohort will come to school on Mondays and Wednesdays. They'll be able to work on Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, or as their employer has them work. And as Dean Smith talked about, they have agreed to, they're not going to put you on like 3rd shift or really long extended 2nd shift hours, because the industry partners have bought into and agreed that understand education is fundamental for this program. Education is extremely important for you to be able to be successful and to advance in this program and advance in your career in precision machining. So that's why they have also made the commitment to make sure you are able to attend school and able to be at school functions and obviously learning in school and doing hands-on projects in school and doing everything that's needed of you guys. Also, as you see behind me, we talk about the wage. You guys obviously going to be starting at this wage, and that's what I tell everybody. This is the least amount of money you should ever make the rest of your life from now on. And I know we've got professional machinists that have worked in this trade for a long time, and I guarantee you every one of them will tell you that's been in it for years, they've never had a pay cut, I wouldn't believe. I think you guys have always continued to make more and more money as you gain more and more experience and can do more and more things. That's what should go on with this program. So that's the key. Look at where you're at right now. That's the least you should ever make for the rest of your life, guys. So that's a great opportunity to set you up to continue to progress and make more and more. And again, after 2 years when the program is done, 5 semesters, you'll graduate with an associate's degree in precision machining. You'll also have 2 years of industry experience and on-the-job training, which is key because so many times students graduate from a college program and they go apply for jobs, and even in the demand we have nowadays, they still struggle potentially to get a job because they don't have experience. You guys are going to get day-to-day experience for 5 semesters for 2 years. So when you graduate, not only will you have a degree, you're going to have 2 years of experience in this field. So that's a huge step up from the very beginning from somebody that just decides to go to school without this experience. So it's a huge opportunity for you guys that way. And also the last number, which I know everybody wants to look at, which is extremely important, you actually come out when you finish this program, potential to make $50,000 or more a year. Everybody needs to make money for for everything to go on. Everybody has bills. That's a great opportunity for a lot of these young men and women that you see come up here. You think about this, if you guys, a lot of you are straight out of high school. In 2 years, you'll finish this program. At 20 years old, you're potentially going to be making $50,000 a year and be debt-free from school. Who wouldn't sign up for that at 18, right? I mean, I didn't have opportunity when I was 18. Had I would have signed up for that too, because unfortunately, I'm one of them you look at has student loans, and that's the way it would go with it, right? But that's a great opportunity for these young men and women. I also want to recognize again our industry partners that have came up and been a part of it. So we have, again, as you can see, our industry partners, and we actually have it broken down by county: Etowah County, Calhoun County, St. Clair County, and DeKalb County. So we have a lot of industry partners with our wide area that said, hey, we want to be a part of this. And there's even more that want to be a part of that we kind of, Dean Smith and I, thankfully he listened to me in this experience, well, good or bad, but he listened either way. I said, we can't go crazy right off the bat, and we have other industry partners wanting to be a part of this program. So we have more industry wanting to come on board with this next year. So where you see now, I expect this list to grow by several industry partners come this time next year. So our program is going to continue to grow and grow. And again, I say again, all you students, you're at the ground floor at the step in the very first class, but I expect you to see the advancements that we make in this program as we get more and more equipment, things that you can do, and techniques and things that you learn that these two instructors are going to share with you, and things you're going to learn on the job. So it's really going to provide a great opportunity, and that's what will help continue this program to grow. I am going now, Dean Smith did a great job talking about instructors, but I'm going to do what they don't like. I'm going to put them on the spot and make them stand up and recognize them. So our first instructor I'm going to recognize is Peyton Amberson. Peyton, if I'm going to please stand up, please. It kind of makes my head spin reading all the experience and things he's done. I'm like, oh my goodness. So I'm like, but Peyton obviously comes to us with a lot of industry experience, a lot of years in the field, and that's the positive. So Peyton, for you men and women that will be attending the Ayers campus, Peyton will be your instructor at the Ayers campus for precision machining. So that way I just want you guys to see this will be your instructor. I definitely do not want to miss Mr. Daniel Anderson. Have you please stand? Mr. Daniel Anderson also, as again, makes my head spin again with all the experience both of them two have. They forgot more than I could ever know about this program, which is really not saying much for what I've forgotten, but they know a tremendous amount. But for you guys that will attend the Gadsden campus, Mr. Daniel Anderson will be your instructor and mentor on school and show you many of the different things. And those two will work well together, and they're going to go in and help us develop projects that we want to do for you guys for this cohort, and also as we're going to continue to just advance and make improvements and things as we go, because this is the initial cohort. Nobody ever gets it perfect the first time, and we've done a very good job at Gadsden State, in my opinion, of doing a lot of things well, but there's always room for us to improve and grow. So these two guys will be instrumental, along with you guys as students, to make sure we're progressing and growing industry. Again, we cannot do it without you. So as you see things, a lot of us have worked together on various, many different other avenues that we've gone together, but please, I think you know this, with Dean Smith and myself and Ms. Carrie Wood, Peyton, Daniel, anytime you guys have questions or suggestions, we want to hear from you guys, because it's our job to make sure these young men and women are being trained to be successful with you guys. So please don't hesitate to let us know about that, please. So a couple of things that you guys need to know that kind of sets CoMeT apart from just a traditional program. They're going to start, and we put up initially this with a safety circle, but I've got to give credit where credit's due. I think Mr. Daniel Anderson came up with a potentially a much better name. I'm not going to say that we've guaranteed to it yet, but instead of a safety circle, I believe maybe a toolbox talk or something. So these students are actually going to start their day every day at the classroom with some type of safety conversation or safety talk. And the students are going to lead this. Mr. Anderson is not going to get up and say, okay, hey, today we're talking about this. It's the student's job to have a topic. It's the student's job to lead this. So that's going to get into public speaking, being more comfortable talking in front of students, talking in front of your peers, talking in front of anybody and speaking well. And not only that, they're going to talk about some topic in safety that they've either seen at school, seen at work, seen maybe at the roadway, at their house, whatever it may be. The safety topic is not going to be limited to only precision machining. They have a wide variety. It's anything that's safety related that could benefit everybody in this program, including the instructors sometimes. So that's key. I want you guys to know that. We already talked about they're going to come to school 2 days a week for 5 semesters. So again, you students will come to school Monday and Wednesday throughout your entire college career. So you don't have to worry about, hey, when am I going to school? Monday and Wednesday is a school day for you guys. So employers, Monday, Wednesday, school day for them. Don't let them pull the leg. We're not swapping on them. Monday and Wednesday, okay? So there you go. I'm busting you right now. Don't try to tell them I got school today on a Tuesday. You don't. Monday and Wednesday, okay? So, and obviously, industry is going to provide you a mentor or trainer to make sure that they don't put you out there. A lot of you may not have any precision machining experience currently. That's their goal. They're going to safely train you, safely put you out there, and should progress you doing more and more complicated tasks as you achieve more and more skills and knowledge. So that's the key for the way this program will progress. And we already talked about attendance, punctuality, and the public speaking. Again, will come from the safety circle and the presentations for the projects they have to do at the end of the semester. Industry, I want to tell you now, you will always be invited to every presentation, and we'll make sure that you guys please try to come. We love having industry come see what our students are presenting and the projects they've been doing. So please make sure you guys can do that. The last thing I want to talk about is kind of another thing that sets it apart, the attire. Typically, college students may get a bad rap. They just kind of may roll out of bed and come to school. In CoMeT, you don't roll out of bed and come to school unless you went into bed with your CoMeT shirt on, tucked in with a belt on. And that's just part of it. That's part of our attire. They're expected to wear, they will be provided a collared CoMeT shirt. I'm going to ask my two instructors again to be picky. I'm going to have y'all stand up and face the crowd again. This is kind of a slight, so as you see, they have a CoMeT logoed collared shirt on, tucked in. I'm glad both of them got a belt on today. I didn't warn them. But that's the key. Students, this is going to be your dress, so you'll be provided 2 shirts, but you're expected to come to school those days wearing those shirts tucked in with a belt on. That's our attire to come to school. And if you don't come dressed that way, they're going to ask you to go back home and get it, because that's the whole point. That's one of the things with this program. We're setting forth professional standards that our industry partners agree you need to have a professional standard. They're just not going to let you show up to work in any attire you want. You're going to have a certain attire to wear to work. So that's one of the things we're going to have to do. Obviously, open-toe shoes, not going to happen in the precision machining world for a multitude of reasons. Long pants, obviously I have to have that. So if anybody happens to have long hair, obviously we have to make sure our hair is kept up and kept neat, because we have rapidly turning machines. We don't want anybody injured that way, and it'll be the same thing at the job site. You can't just have your hair out anyway, so it's got to be put up and taken care of. So that's some of the expectations we have that's a little different, that makes this program a little different from just a traditional college program, which you would still get a lot of the same skills. But that's just some of the day-to-day things that I want you guys to see. And as parents and family members, I want you to see that some of the things that they should be leaving the house like that. And hey, if they don't, call them on it, family members, because you know what? Because we're going to call them on it when they get to school. So that's what we want to see. So again, we talked about attendance and the safety circle. So I wanted to stop now, and we typically try to give you guys any questions. If you have like to ask any questions, maybe about this, because I know as a parent myself, you're trusting us and our industry partners with your son or daughter to come in and be a part of this program. And we've kind of briefly gone over it some, but I'm going to assume, and that gets you in trouble, that probably maybe your child does a better job communicating to you than mine do to me. Or either I just can't understand them, I guess. I don't know. I don't ask the right questions. I don't know which way it goes. But I want you guys to have any opportunity to ask any question you might like from myself, instructors, Dean Smith, anybody, if you'd like to ask anything. I like it when I do such a good job, nobody has questions. I don't believe that's the case, but I will say this, maybe if one comes to you, or you'd like to catch us out to the side without asking everybody, please do that. We want to make sure you're confident and answer any questions you may have about this program and things that are going on, okay? So if you don't have any questions, I would like to take one more time. I know we've clapped, but I want to clap a couple more times. I'd like to recognize all our industry partners and our students that signed to get in CoMeT again, please. And just like Dean Smith said, I'm going to go again. So all of us in the industry and all of us at Gadsden State, please applaud your family members that are here with you guys that are did support you and are going to continue to support you along this journey, please. So if you don't mind, before we're going to move this backdrop over, if I can get all the members from the cohort to please come up and let's get a picture. And then at that point, we'll still leave this set up and you guys can get family pictures, industry pictures, but I'd love to get the first one with all our cohort members together, please. And at that time, I think there's probably still plenty of food that I see. So again, I told all of you, if you leave here hungry or thirsty, It's not because we didn't give you food, so please help yourself to food, please. But we'll slide this backdrop over, and then we'll please let you come up and take some pictures. Thank you guys again for coming and being here. You got me?